started. We have a interesting week. We have some many controversies springing up. And the first one is Samuel Jackson, and is talking about the film Get Out. Now, right now, Get Out is like the rage. Everybody's talking about it. I mean, they almost convinced me to go see it. Chicago, did you go see
No, I
Get
never.
Out?
I didn't see it. My girl saw it, but I didn't see it. No.
Uh, I don't know. Everybody's talking about it. They like everybody, even the conscious people. Oh, you got to go see this movie. I'm like, oh. So I like I told D Blaze, I might put aside all my concerns and go see this film because people are talking about it so heavily that not to be missed and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's besides the point. If I do see it, I'll make sure to tell you guys and I did. But Samuel L. Jackson just came in the middle of an interview, wondered about black British actors playing you know African American roles, and his assertion was is that a an African American or black actor might have a more I don't know, honest, um, I guess honest portrayal, having lived and grown up in America, than a British actor or some actor from somewhere else. Which got me to thinking about he's saying that because of the Black American experience, that it is so unique that it may be better to have that played by a person who's African American. So I know we talked about this a little bit, but my view on it is that I'm I would agree that there is a unique experience, despite the fact that people of African descent have been and continue to be you know uh, abused, persecuted, have been enslaved, uh, colonized, etc. All over the planet. But there is a very unique, a very unique Black American experience here. But I don't think that that translates into whether an actor or actress could do it justice. What do you guys think?
Uh,
Um,
Go ahead, D.
oh,
Blaze.
I think I kind of agree. I think our situation is unique, but just based on him being a black man and me being a black man, if he was over here, I think they'll see him as the same until he talking. You hear his accent or whatever. But I think I don't think it will be like that much of a difference. I think it's like our situation, like you said, our history is different, but I think just based on us being two black men, it wouldn't be that much of a difference. That's my thoughts.
Hmm. Chicago.
Yeah. What D. Blaze was saying, I feel the same way. It's not a huge difference. Is it some difference? Yes, but to me, it's not a huge difference. Like you said before, black people on every continent, in every country, from African descent, we've always been discriminated against. Whether you live whether you live in Europe, whether you live in America, whether you live in the islands, it doesn't matter where you live. Indigenous people in Australia have been from African descent. Everybody from African descent has always been looked down to, been mistreated. So he doesn't have the American experience, but he has the black experience. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
so Samuel Jackson, him saying that, my viewpoints were it was kind of unnecessary to me because
Hmm.
we don't know the experience that this gentleman had growing up, especially him being a dark skinned brother. Uh, we don't know his experience. He can channel different experience he had living in. I think he's from the UK, right? Something like that.
Yeah, he is.
He's from the UK. He can channel his experience, and I'm pretty sure he's an actor. So when he did this movie, I'm pretty sure he did his research as well. And he was probably did his research. And he probably did his research in America and shared similar stories with other people who went through the same things he did, that he probably went through in the UK. So, like D Blake says, it's not a huge difference. Is there a difference? Yes, but it's not a huge difference. If you're black or you're from African descent, in every place in the world, you're looked down to and you're mistreated. It doesn't matter where you're at. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I just think it was unnecessary for Samuel L. Jackson to say that. It was kind of unnecessary to me.
Right. Yeah. I do think that and like I said, I don't disagree with any of it. I do think that it does bring up the question of is our I think every situation is unique, and I think that to some extent the pervasive after effects of the racism that was necessary to perpetuate American form of slavery, still exists and still keeps us, still dealing with the after effects of that, from the way the system is set up to, the thought process behind it. But if you look at it, that is also, very, very much apparent, like you said, in other places, Brazil, any of the islands along the Caribbean where, some of the first stops were, we still have all of those same things happening to a different degree with their own unique regional or, local stamp of, systematic oppression. But for an actor, that's what they do. They act. That's their job. Like you said, I'm sure he talked to it. And if you look over at what's going on in the UK right now, it's they're having their own issues. The whole concept of their race relations are still problematic. They might be overshadowed a little bit by this immigrant thing with the Muslim thing, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, there's still the black white divide over there, even though it's certainly less because there's a lot more interracial dating, interracial marriages on that side than it is here. But it's not that they don't experience it at all. So I would think that he would have some knowledge of that, I would think, and could certainly relate to dating a white woman, because that's not a that is if you look at the who's married to who of the British black actors, that's not unique. It's not like they're all married to black women.
Right.
They're not. So therefore they do, know what it's like to date white women and marry white women, and quite a few of them have. So I do think that Samuel L. Jackson was maybe he was trying to make a bigger point. Maybe he was trying to look out for black actors in America as opposed to black actors from other places, and call to attention why go all the way over there when you got a whole bunch of them over here. I don't know. That's the only thing I could see coming from his comment like that. The only saving grace I think I could find.
And I want our listeners to know there was slavery in Europe as well. In America we took it to another level, but it was slavery in throughout Europe as well. So.
Right. So. Yeah. And absolutely, they abolished it sooner.
Right. Much
but
sooner.
you know, but
1833, I
the
believe.
yeah, but the effects of it still, still linger. Like I said, they may have pivoted to, be anti-Muslim or anti-immigrant, but certainly the thing that they're concerned about is, black, African, as well as others of color. They're concerned about immigrants, and for them, an immigrant is anyone who is, doesn't have the same skin color,
Right.
especially them. So I certainly agree with that. Certainly agree. So, but that's what it is. So hopefully that situation will die down, and we'll still get the talented black actors who are able to, you know, be be gainfully employed doing what it is that they want to do. That's what we can hope for.
Let
Go
me.
ahead.
Can I make one more comment?
Of course.
If Samuel Jackson felt that way, he should turn down the 20 movie roles that come to his table every year. He eats up so much movie roles. In my opinion, sometimes it's unnecessary because a lot of stuff is just cameos. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
make his $5-6 million just popping in the movie for 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
if you felt that way, maybe you should. If a movie role comes your way, maybe you should push another actor. Like, no, I know this one actor, this young actor, young black actor who's trying to get in the business. Let me put him on. You know what I'm saying? So if you felt that way, how about you turn down some of those movie roles you take? Because you don't have
Yeah.
to do everything, and everybody knows Samuel L. Jackson does everything. He pops up in every single movie. I mean,
Right.
if it's he does what he pops up. I think he pops up in like 3 movies a year. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, without a doubt.
that's a lot of movies to be popping up in. 3 movies a year. Like, get out of here. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe he should stop whoring out himself and being in every single movie and turn down some roles. Maybe we can get another black actor in a role that
Yeah.
they desperately needed. So that's all I have to say. So,
I know he's Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino right hand man.
yeah, he's
Oh,
that.
yeah.
He probably got a 10 movie deal with Marvel Comics. I mean, he's Avengers. He pops up in everything. X-Men. I mean, he's in all kind of movies. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's in the new Kong movie, because whatever that
Yeah.
Kong movie thing
yeah, the
is.
new Kong movie.
He's
Yeah,
in there, and I'm sitting there like, why?
he's in everything. Just put it out. He's in everything. So
Yeah.
I know.
And he seems to. So see, I'm about to start. I'm not gonna go in on because.